Hi, I'm Mark Shu. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life and the host of the Wellness Revolution podcast. And today we have Terra Gegg, and she's with Enhanced Physical Therapy out of Missouri. Yeah.
Yes,
And where in Missouri are you from, Terra?
Springfield, Missouri, so Southwest.
Gotcha. And she said it's a little chilly out there today, like 29, 28, 29.
Yeah,
Chilly
right
for
around
her.
there.
And I'm in warm Florida. I think we're about 40 here today, which is unusual for us.
Yes.
And Tara has, I guess the way I would describe it is kind of a boutique type of physical therapy where she has her expertise and works with people one on one and has a wide variety of experiences. So, Tara, welcome to the show, and I'd love to hear about your experiences and what motivated you to do what you're doing here today.
Thanks. So I have my business here. It's in a CrossFit gym where we have our own separate spaces. We work with pelvic floor patients as well as just normal orthopedic clients, anywhere from moms to athletes to just people who are motivated to feel good and want to do what they like to do with their friends and family. So we work one-on-one, typically an hour. Sometimes we do virtual sessions or just virtual check-ins, depending on what we need at the time and how far away people are coming from. But yeah, we work one-on-one. It's cash-based, so they're motivated to get better, and it having that time helps me push them and know what they can do and give them the best treatment that they can have.
Gotcha. So you mentioned cash base and motivated to get better in the same sentence.
Yeah.
So are you noticing a difference with people who are on insurance? And then the people who are actually paying cash out of pocket and their own
Yes.
personal motivation?
Yes, for sure. So a lot of times when I worked in the insurance-based industry, doctors just send people to therapy and they don't always want to be there. So getting people better is harder when they don't have the true desire and internal motivation to get better. But when I get people here, generally they're reaching out to me. It's not necessarily that their doctor is sending them, although I do have to have a doctor's order after a month, but they want to get better. So when someone wants to get better, generally it happens faster and it happens. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily happen when you're on insurance and not really not having to pay as much as um, what you think you're going to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that too. A lot of we're in the personal growth business here with the Compass Life too.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes people will come into the classes like thinking their shit is really special. You
Yeah.
know, like, well, I know it may be working for everybody else, but let me prove to you how what you're doing is not going to work, right? And
Right.
imagine the same thing with physical therapy, and the commitment side is huge, and no matter in all areas of your life, whatever you're committed to is what's showing up in your life. I don't care what you say, what you're committed to, but whatever you're committed to is actually what's showing up in your life. So
Right.
yeah, when you get to commitment stuff, things begin to move very, very quickly.
Correct. Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this? I mean, like in the physical therapy, because you look like you're about 24, 26, something
No.
like no,
No, no. I'm
19.
42, so I've been
You're
doing
wait,
this
wait a
for
minute. You're
19
what?
years.
You-
I'm 42. Yeah. So I've been doing this for 19 years since 2005.
Wow. Okay.
Well, going on 20 years, I guess.
So your mythology also reverses the aging process.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Excuse me.
Yeah. I've
So
had my business since 2021, but really into it 2022.
and what's your background that got you into what you're doing now?
In physical therapy in general.
Yeah, I guess you went to university, got physical therapy, like kind of give me your accreditations as well.
Yeah. So I was active my whole life, did dance, cheerleading, gymnastics, soccer, softball, all the things. Um, and honestly, I had one injury that I should have had therapy for and didn't. So I'm still working through some of my ankle injuries on my own for that, even years
Uh-huh.
and years later. And so then I went to yes, college, I got accepted into Maryville University, which is in St. Louis, Missouri, um, into their almost direct access, but as a freshman into their program and graduated in 5.5 years with my master's. And then I worked for an outpatient orthopedic hospital system for 13 years and then transitioned through a couple other areas. So I've worked with babies and all the way up to, I think I had someone that was like 98 at one point. So
Wow.
all ages.
Wow. And you work with babies, you said?
Yeah, I love to work with babies. It's not something I do currently. I wouldn't mind to, but yeah, working on um, like transitions from stages of like crawling to walking, and then also like torticollis, where babies get stuck like turned and they can't turn their head all the way.
Mm. So babies can come, I mean, uh, mothers can bring their babies to you for physical therapy as well.
Yeah,
I,
they could. Yep.
I know I work with I work with a lot of chiropractors, and they said birth is one of the most traumatic things a kid when they go through the
Yeah.
birth canal, it's really traumatic. They
Mhm.
could have little quirks in hips and necks and all kind of things, and going
Yep.
back in and having that chiropractic care from early on to really set things up to have that foundational piece is really important as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. So you've had this company for how long now?
So in 2021, I started it out of necessity from just not having enough clients with the company I was with. And I was going around to people's houses and just seeing them, um, not because they were homebound, but just because I didn't have a space. So that's where I
Uh,
went. Um, and then in 2022, I transitioned out of my other job into just my own space and got a small space and then transitioned into where I am now.
gotcha. And how were you getting your leads when you were going to people's houses?
It started just by sharing stuff on Facebook and Instagram. And then I had a company help me do like Facebook and Instagram ads. And that's just kind of how it's grown with a website and going to doctors' offices and gyms and different places and having them send me people.
Gotcha. And so you work with physicians as well?
Some, a lot of them that are insurance based struggle to send people to me because they know that they're telling people they're going to have to pay out of pocket. So it just depends on the specific client that they have in front of them if they think they would be okay with paying cash and then or self-pay to have to be cash.
Well,
Um,
you also said like you just give people like a super bill, right?
yes, yes. So
So
they can send it into insurance and get reimbursed depending on their out-of-network coverage.
gotcha. I mean, so they're out of money, out of pocket for a couple of months or two or whatever, a couple of months, and then get reimbursed for it.
Yes,
And they get
right.
great personalized care, which most likely your service levels are above what's going on in most likely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I see people one-on-one, like there's never anybody else in the room with us getting care. I mean, you can bring people with you if that's what you needed to do, but yeah, it's just you and I for an hour
Huh?
where we work through things. I can listen to your story. I can actually, take the time to explain things to you and make sure we're covering all aspects of care. So besides just the physical aspect, we talk about sleep, nutrition, and hydration and all that other stuff that plays into your health
Mm-hmm.
and healing.
Mm-hmm. So you also work with nutrition as well. Just that was going to be my next question. So you have
I
nutritional programs as well, or
I don't do a nutritional program because it's not technically in my scope of care, but we just kind of talk about basic things like let's make sure you're eating enough and let's make sure you're getting enough protein and you're drinking enough water and all of that stuff.
right? And certain foods are inflammatory, and certain foods.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Right, right.
Yep. We hit
Um,
all that, but I can't necessarily recommend it because it's not my, I don't have a degree in that. So
gotcha. How about the emotional component? You work with people on the emotional side as well.
the muscle side, is that what you
The
said?
emotional side.
Oh, emotional. We definitely talk about stress and how that all relates to things. And if I need to, I do have some people that I can refer people to. I don't specifically do anything, but we talk a lot about breathing and how that regulates the nervous system and it can affect all of that aspect of things. But I don't specifically help them with the emotional side, except that I'm just talking to them through things. And then if they
Gotcha.
need a referral, I'll
Gotcha.
send them.
Gotcha. So tell me do you have like a regular type of a workout program, or it's just tailored for what people require, or kind of
Yeah,
go through a little bit about what your typical session with you look like?
sure. So I don't have anything that is set in stone. So all of my stuff is completely customized to each person um, when they come in, depending on what they present with, where they're limited, where they need help. Um, Everything is customized for them. So I'm not going to just hand you a piece of paper that says do this and this and this because it worked for the last person. I'm going to look at what you need and how your body moves and all of that. And actually, I don't hand people a piece of paper at all. My system is all videos. So they have access to my system, which is a portal where they have their own specific exercises and their videos of me telling them how to do certain things and how
Hmm.
often and all.
Okay. And what type of results are you seeing being produced with your trainings, with your therapy?
Yeah. So typically, it really depends on what they're coming in for, but typically I see people from 6 weeks to 12 weeks, I would say, to really get them back to what they're doing. Not everybody's going to be completely pain free, but that's the goal. And then we work on how to manage pain if we can't get it all the way gone. But like we see people for urinary incontinence as well. And so when we see people for that, we see them until that's gone and it's gone with everything. Not just gone for a week, but gone for ever.
So one more
um,
time, you work with people with urinary issues?
yes, so urinary incontinence, whether that's like stress, like with jumping, sneezing, laughing, coughing type stuff, or um, just unable to hold it if they feel like they need to go. That's part of the pelvic floor aspect of it. So
Uh-huh.
that's usually for pelvic floor, I just work with women. There is people that work with men. I don't have that training, so I don't typically work with them.
Uh-huh.
But
So
yes,
how do you treat that?
well, there's lots of different ways depending on what's going on. So sometimes people's pelvic floor, so your pelvic floor is muscles. And if their muscles are too tense, sometimes they can't contract enough to hold any longer. And sometimes they're not strong enough. And so we have to work on strength. But a lot of it just comes into play with hips and breathing and making sure everything is working correctly together.
Mm.
So with exercise as well as breathing and nervous system work. But then I also do internal work for women. So if we need to work on stretching the muscles on the pelvic floor or working on strength, we can tell that too.
Hmm. Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
So what's your service area? You're in Southwest Missouri. How big is a
So
geographic area do you work with, or do you also do stuff with people online from outside your geographic area, or?
yeah. So I don't do a lot online, but we do some. So we have I have had people come from as far as Columbia, which is like 3 hours away. So Springfield, Ozark, Branson, so like the Ozark area. Um, I've had someone drive up from Joplin before, which is an hour or so away. Um, so within an hour to 3 hours, I would say people have come in from, and then I have done some online stuff.
So what's your biggest success story? Like one that really sticks out for you?
Um, Goodness. I have some people that I've been working with actually for like 2 years that now they're just coming for maintenance type stuff. So let's just make sure that everything stays where it is. I have one lady who she is a horse rider. She rides horses. And she came in initially and was like, I just want to see if we can get anywhere with this. I've had issues with being out of alignment what she said, for my whole life. And I have really hard time getting the horse to follow what I need it to do because I can't move correctly. And she is one of my people that still comes, but she is able to do everything she wants to do. And she was like, in 50 years, no one's ever been able to help me
Wow.
get this the way I want it to. So I would say she's a really big one, but I mean, I have some runners that have come in and we've gotten better in just a couple visits to get back to running fully without any pain or leaking too.
Hmm. Awesome. So, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
I am on Facebook and Instagram, and I also have a website. So Instagram and Facebook are both just Enhance Physical Therapy. And then my website is enhance-physicaltherapy.com.
Gotcha. And or do you have an email as well?
I do.
Terra.gegg.
So it's just Terra, Terra, at enhancephysicaltherapy.com. Enhance-physicaltherapy.com.
Gotcha. Well, Tara, it's great having you on the show. And I do have a question for you before you get
Okay.
off.
Yeah.
And this is a question I ask everybody. What do you love about life?
What do I love about life in general? Um, Gosh, just in general, I honestly love to help people and see them uh, get better and enjoy what they like doing.
Oh, you're getting emotional over this a little bit.
I know. Um, yeah. So whether that's through my business or, just talking to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I share that with you. Sometimes I'll see people come into class and they're like it's like their eyes are there's like dark around their eyes are like sucking energy in, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
something will happen and they'll get that spark back. And I
Mhm.
love seeing that spark show up in people's eyes.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
All of a sudden they start to smile and like how did you get your lips to, to touch your chin down here? Like they'll like their mouth is so far down. It's like and I go, you know what? It looks like you have like a roof on here, and you're supposed to have a cup on your mouth walking around. When you have a roof,
Yeah.
whatever blessings are going to come your way, going to run off right off your roof. You got to make a cup here to hold your blessings in. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, well, Tara, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and
Yeah.
I hope you continue to grow and have continued success in what you're doing. And it's really nice to see how much caring you have for your people.
Yes, thanks.
You're welcome. Blessings.